to be talking about two personality ingredients that might sound like they don't go together at all, and that's confidence and awkwardness. And my position in this discussion is that confident people are masters of awkwardness. And if you are struggling to show up in your life as the person that you actually feel like you are, if you are struggling to make choices in your life that feel authentic and you're just in that like stuck place of, I'm not living the life that I want to live, I'm not showing up as the person that I want to show up as, this conversation is for you. Because I think confidence is one of those things that sometimes can feel like it only belongs to certain people. It belongs to people who are attractive or who have money or who have resources or, who have always had it. And that's the really interesting thing about confidence is it is a skill just like anything else is a skill, and you don't necessarily have to have the things that most people associate with confidence, like money or beauty or any of that stuff. You can still learn and develop authentic confidence as a skill. So I'm a mindset coach, and a lot of what we do or what I do with my clients is training them on. I guess I'll call them meta skills. I like to position anything that can be learned as a skill simply because when you think of a skill, um, when you think of a skill, at least when I think of a skill, like let's say it's playing guitar. If I decided I wanted to go and play guitar tomorrow, I kind of know already that I don't have the skills to be like Jimi Hendrix sing the piece. I'm I'm just beginning to practice. And so I like to frame things that wouldn't normally seem like skills as a skill because it mentally gives you permission to practice it and to suck at it at first. And this is the thing that we often, as adults, avoid learning new things or trying new things because it feels so uncomfortable to suck at something. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about the skill of awkwardness. If you want to do anything in life that's not what everybody else is already doing, like that's the skill to master. So let's get into it. First of all, what even is confidence, right? Like, I like to make things as plain and tangible as possible when we're talking about concepts like confidence. So for the sake of this conversation, I am defining confidence as experience. Okay? So think of anything that you could be confident in, whether that is playing guitar, whether that is running a business or any other thing. And the thing that makes you confident in that thing ultimately is having experience in the thing. So we're going to keep our definition and our understanding of confidence really plain and simple for this conversation so you can follow the point. Okay. So when I say confidence, what I'm really talking about is having experience in something. That is how you develop confidence. Having awkwardness as a skill is going to be to your benefit if you want to develop confidence in anything that you're doing. Because if confidence equals experience, think about what happens when you begin to develop experience in something that you don't have experience in. You're not good at it, right? So let's take entrepreneurship. I think we'll use that as an example through this conversation. So I'll come back to it a few times. Let's say you're wanting to be an entrepreneur, but you have not been an entrepreneur before. You have mostly worked jobs, okay? So you don't have experience being an entrepreneur. You have spent zero time being an entrepreneur. Why do you think you should be confident at it? Like, what is going to make you confident at doing this thing that you haven't done yet? Nothing. It would be perfectly normal and acceptable to not have confidence yet because you don't have experience. So, why I say mastering the skill of awkwardness, because when you recognize that awkwardness is just a transitionary state, transitionary? That's not the word I wanted to say. Awkward is just a transition between you beginning something and you having experience in the thing that you're beginning. In that middle phase, you're awkward. Okay. So mastering the skill of awkwardness means being like, yeah, I'm awkward right now, and that's fine. It's not letting the awkwardness take over you and make you stop doing whatever it is you're trying to build experience to make, or make like, not letting the awkward um inhibit your progress. Understanding and accepting the awkwardness as its own learning phase is a skill in and of itself, because it transfers to anything else that you want to learn. Like we're talking about the example of entrepreneurship. You're just starting off as an entrepreneur, and it's awkward. You don't know what you're doing. You're not making money yet. You're making mistakes. You're, rebranding yourself, rebranding your offers over and over again, and you're beating yourself up for doing that because you think you shouldn't be. What, that doesn't make sense. Why would you be certain of a process you are experimenting with? And entrepreneurship especially is such an experimental journey. There's no other way to get good at it besides experimenting. And experimenting means that it's not always going to work out. Experimenting means there's going to be a lot of failure involved. And so to bring it back to awkwardness, having confidence in your ability to be awkward means giving yourself permission to go through that awkward learning phase without being taken out by the discomfort of it. And I guess maybe that's another way of saying it, is like, you have capacity for the discomfort that comes with being in that middle phase where you haven't gained experience in the thing that you want to get confident in. Let's talk about then how to actually develop awkwardness as a skill. You're going to like this part. You're not going to like it at all. You got to do awkward things. You have to do awkward things. And here's a great thing about developing meta skills and like mindset and embodiment skills. If, let's say, starting a business is the thing that you want to do, but you're afraid to do it because you're afraid of going through that awkward phase. All right, that's cool. You still gonna have to. You can't get, like, you're not gonna get away from the awkward phase. But what you can do is train yourself to have capacity for the sensation of awkwardness in other ways. So maybe you don't quit your job and start your business right now because it's too uncomfortable and you're not comfortable yet with being uncomfortable. You know what you could do? You could go and take a dance class. You can go and take a dance class. You know why? That might have absolutely nothing to do with the business that you're trying to start. But if that is something that's uncomfortable for you, you are now going to have to contend with the experience of being uncomfortable, but in a safe, simulated space. You take a dance class, you got to look at yourself in the mirror and watch yourself move. You got to be with yourself, and it's going to be uncomfortable as hell unless that's what you like doing. But that's the muscle that you're trying to train, is the discomfort muscle. And you're training this in an area where the stakes are low, and that actually translates to you having the courage to, like, quit your job and start that business that you actually want to start. So let me make this a little bit more clear with what I'm saying. Our brains and our bodies sensationally don't know the difference between you being awkward and feeling uncomfortable in a dance class and you being awkward and feeling uncomfortable when you start your business. All the body knows is the data of sensation. I'm experiencing something. I'm experiencing a sensation that feels like my heart is racing and my stomach is clenched and my armpits are sweating because I'm nervous. Okay? So when you allow yourself, it's almost kind of like a form of exposure therapy to experience those sensations in different ways. You expand your capacity to be able to do more and more things that are going to require you to feel uncomfortable. So allowing training your body to be able to manage the experience of discomfort in controlled ways is a really, really powerful way of training yourself to do whatever you want to do. Like literally whatever you want to do. This is how you become, I don't want to say fearless, because if you're expanding, you're always going to meet that edge of fear. This is how you become courageous, because courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is, this really scares the hell out of me and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to make it, and I'm going to figure it out. So I guess ultimately, while we're the skill that we're practicing, I'm calling it awkwardness because I want you to feel okay about it being awkward. But the payoff of training yourself to master awkwardness is hella courage. And courage is something that you can apply to anything, anything else that you do in your life. Okay, have I made my point? Have I made my point? I hope so. I hope I have. I think that's all I have to say. Yeah, yeah, it is. Well, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Pretty Brilliant Podcast, and I'll see you next time.